For sure.
It's about that time. It's about that time. You the tag.
Yes,
Team
sir.
Kendall, and not talking about the Jenners. Talking about
No,
the other one.
absolutely not. No.
Yeah, Elite TV's back tonight. Succession is back. Very excited to get back to that. Very quality TV there. Excited for it to turn. Season 5 is about to get underway, and really excited for season 4, whichever one it is. But
the final season.
Very excited for the final season of that. Looking very excited for the dynamic and all of that. And yeah, it's going to be very, very fun. On the other side, that hasn't been fun so far has been Kyrie and Luka in Dallas. People thought it was going to be fun. People thought it was going to be a great pairing. People thought it was going to be something that would catapult both of them back into elite status, but it has not worked out just yet. We're looking at all the angles that come with that. So back again for you guys with another episode. Appreciate y'all tuning back in. Appreciate y'all that just watched our Laker episode talking about LeBron, his return from his foot injury. And he went and talked to the LeBron James of feet to get back on the court recently, wherever the case. I don't know. We talked about all of that last episode. Thank y'all for that. Continue to like, review, subscribe, all that good stuff for us. And with that being the first episode that you watched, we'll jump right into this one. We'll skip the intro and talk about what's going on there. So I'm going to pull up the standings real quick as we did with the last episode. I'm going to try a new format just yet again. Can I get this to go? My apologies. There we go. So as you can see, let me pull up the Mavs. My apologies for the quick pause. The Mavs, not the Thunder, though they're playing good.
Yeah, they are.
The Mavs are sitting at 36 and 39 right now. Have lost the last 4 straight. Things have not worked out with them as we thought. They're up as high as the 5th seed, if I remember that correctly, for early on in the season, and now have continued to fall. Really since, well, I mean, there are other things that play its part, but Kyrie getting there, as I said to begin, has not meshed with Luka and that team as we thought. So, what do you think of the situation right now? Do you think Kyrie and Luka can work long term? And we'll get into more of that from there. But yeah, just with that, what do you think of this Kyrie and Luka's failure so far?
Yeah, I think it was always meant to be a rental. Like Dallas may have hoped that if it worked well, that they would sign him to an extension. But it always seemed like the discourse around Kyrie was that he was his dream destination was to come to the Lakers and play with LeBron again. And that's where he's had the most success in his career. Every single stop afterwards has had its issues. Maybe started rosy, but then had its issues. And it seemed like that was them reconvening was destined to happen. And it seems like that it may still be the case. Kyrie and Luka as a tandem, offensively, scary, but they can't play any defense collectively as a team. And that's been truly their Achilles heel. They traded away a couple of their defensive-minded guys in order to get Kyrie. Dorian Finney-Smith was a huge part of that for them, and his absence is glaring there for their defense. I think as a tandem, I think Luka really needs to be paired more with like a wing type player, like a guy like a Paul George or something like that, or a stretch big. Porzingis they tried with, but Porzingis just had a whole lot of injury issues. So I mentioned before the show another guy of the Aryan race that Mark Cuban might like to sign. A guy who had a breakout this year in Lauri Markkanen, our Arizona Wildcat.
Right.
I think he'd be a perfect fit with Luka. Them running the pick and roll. Lauri can play like a guard as well too, but he can play inside and out. So I think a guy like that would be more of a better duo for Luka, or a better Robin.
I mean, Lauri really is what we wanted Porzingis to be. Porzingis has never really quite put it all together. When he has, it hasn't stayed together for long. He always just hurting things. So having a guy like Lauri, who is more put together and seems to be more of a long-term option, I do think can work. So I'm with you there. I'll be honest,
he's younger
because of the Arizona guy. So yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and he's younger too. I think a guy like that, or a wing player that can also guard on the perimeter, because Kyrie, while he's not a bad defender for his size, and he does put in the effort. He's not a great defender. And then you're putting that next to Luka, who's not a good defender.
Right.
So your perimeter defense is going to suffer mightily. And then they don't really have any legitimate bigs either. Like it's Maxi Kleba who's plays the 4, and then it's Dwight Powell and JaVale McGee.
Somewhat of a stretch, but yeah, either they're stretch type guys or they're not really dominant down low enough to offset what's going on with Kyrie and Luka on the perimeter, as you're pointing out there. So yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. Yeah, is as great of an addition as Kyrie was back to one of your first points, losing out on Finney-Smith and even a perimeter guy like Dinwiddie, even though Kyrie does replace him, having that type of guy out there alongside Kyrie or alongside Luka definitely does play its part. And as you see, there's a lot of losses there that are a result of that lack of depth that they once had. So we'll see what comes next with them. You already kind of answered, but do you think this is a rental for Kyrie, or do you think this is just do you think the experiment is a failure there, or do you think this is just part of the growing pains still, and it can be resolved going forward?
I think it is partially a part of the growing pains because they have, as you can see too, they've lost a lot of close games, so they're struggling to close. That's something you wouldn't normally think you would have to say with a Kyrie on the team who's proven to close in the biggest of moments in the finals, or Luka who's been a closer in his young superstar ascension in his first few years in the playoffs. But they've struggled to close games, and I think it's more so because of the roster construction. Like they can maybe get a little bit better in crunch time, and they can maybe scheme-wise figure some things out defensively. But I think roster-wise, they're not built to keep up with a couple of these other teams in the West. So I think they can maybe slide into back into play-in contention, but they're not the team that I thought. Like I thought they were going to be a 4 or 5 seed. I thought they were going to climb, but they've fallen. So I guess you could call it a failure because of the guys they sent out. They lost some depth, and they tried the home run swing, and at best, I guess it's been like a single. But right now, it's looking like they're going to strike out.
Yeah. So, with that being the case, is that more of a stain on Luka or more of a stain on Kyrie? Or is it a stain not stain on either, and it's just a bad situation all around?
Yeah, I don't think it's a stain on Kyrie because I think he's been a professional. That's one thing that's kind of questioned at times, how he's handled himself off the floor. He's been a professional. Seems like he's gotten along with teammates and gotten along with the city.
Sure.
He's played, like he's competed. He's had the big scoring nights. He's done what you kind of expect him to do on most of the occasions that he's played. They both have sat out a bit, which is an issue that Kyrie has had a little bit with the injuries.
Right.
But I don't think it's been a stain on Kyrie. You could maybe say it's a stain on Luka having brought in the superstar for him to hopefully complement him, and them still struggling. And Luka's been bewildered by their struggles. He's like in press conferences saying that he doesn't know what's going on, what's wrong, but why they can't finish and close games. So maybe it's a little bit of a hit to Luka, and to your point, potentially him needing to change up his game a little bit. I think it's some of what I talked about with your superstar needing to buy into the defensive end too, like I talked about with Jokic. But I don't think it's necessarily a quote unquote stain. I just think it's more of a failed experiment, like you're saying, and it's definitely going to be a rental.
Got it. So with that being the case, the Mavs as a whole have tried in various ways to get pieces around Luka to help him get this team to the next level, and they continue to be failed experiments. They had Porzingis, they had the wings and all that. They had the shooters. They had Brunson over there, who now is a star over there, and let him go a year earlier.
That was a miss, letting him go.
It was a miss. So with there being a lot of, I guess, mismanagement there, or a lot of failed attempts, as I said to start, should Luka want to stay there long term, or do you think Luka should go elsewhere? And if so, actually, I'll let you just answer that first, and then we'll go from there.
I think Luka will probably be comfortable as long as they're taking these swings like this, like
Mhm.
seeking to make the team better, because that's an obvious attempt at win now when you
Right.
make the move for Kyrie. So
Right.
as long as they're seeking to build around him as they've sought to do, I think he's gonna be comfortable. But if it's a situation where they're missing the playoffs, like I don't know that they missed the playoffs this year. It's looking likely actually, which
Mhm.
is surprising. But if it's a situation where they miss the playoffs in 2 straight seasons or something like that, then you would be concerned about him wanting to go elsewhere, I would think. But it seems like he has a good relationship with Cuban and the organization, and that they're trying at least to make moves that can get them over the hump. I mean, they just made it to the Western Conference Finals last year, so
Exactly.
um, it would be kind of hard for me to see him like switch up that quickly. I think it would have to be sustained failure for
Mhm.
him to change his
Got it.
team. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, we shall see how this plays. Definitely interesting thing, as you said, they just had a great team just last season. Are now in the spot where they are, even with some quality talent still on that roster. So
Mm.
we'll see how things adjust. And yeah, excited to continue to follow all things going on in the NBA. We talk mainly about the LA stuff, talk about the Lakers a whole lot. I see my Kings on occasion. But as I've also pointed out, I'm a basketball fan just in general. So seeing all the stuff that plays out all across the league definitely is fun to follow. Kyrie is one of the most notable figures in the league right now, still trying to find his way. And yeah, he's in Dallas with Luka right now, who we talked about being the next face of the league for a lot of this season. And it hasn't quite clicked as we hoped. We thought it was going to be his MVP year. We talked about slightly make or break in regards to face of the league with all the other guys rising around him. And things have not fully clicked as hoped. So definitely some interesting things to see how they continue to play out in Dallas with both those guys there. So yeah,
Yeah.
fun things there. I guess I'll throw this slight wrinkle in as well.
Okay.
Since it has failed a few times now, if for whatever reason Luka does demand a trade, where would you like to see him go if you can see him go anywhere in the league?
Atlanta. No, I'm just playing.
It will be fun.
Luka for Trey. Where would That's a interesting thought. The Kings missed out on him.
Yeah. Was it a miss though? Was it a miss?
Yes, it was a miss. It was definitely a miss.
Whatever.
You guys took Bagley, right? Yeah, that's a miss.
Whatever.
That's interesting. I feel like a big market would be obviously great for the NBA and good for him. So like, if he did somehow end up on the Knicks, that would be crazy. Or like, I mean, like the Lakers got Braun. You got the Clippers got their stars. I'm thinking who doesn't have like that superstar that could be a big, like Miami maybe, the Heat. They're kind of middling right now.
Very much so.
Other teams kind of have their
And
stars.
all of that, but I don't see it, man.
The Nets would be interesting too. I mean, that's still New York too, and they don't have a superstar.
Cal would be
But
nice right now, though.
yeah, so they got some pieces. Like they have a big in Claxton who's improving too, and he's got Dinwiddie and Finney Smith who he's already got chemistry with. So that would be interesting. Or like Toronto, they were potentially like going to be sellers at the deadline, but they made the move for Podol. But maybe they want to go in a different direction. Yeah, I think like one of those like bigger cities, I think would be like box office, like for Luka, because he's one of the guys I think the league wants to be one of the faces of the league. So
yeah. To that Knicks point, I think I saw that they have that thing they position themselves where they're going to have room to they're going to have some draft capital. They're going to have some cap space. They have guys like RJ Barrett who have not quite ascended as they hoped, so they may be on the move. If they put together a package, they missed on Donovan Mitchell. If they can put together another package that's a little bit bigger and go get Luka instead, that'd be a great grab. You can somehow keep either one of Brunson and Julius over there to go alongside him. We see that Brunson and Luka can work, and then if we can keep Julius in that too, you have a slight big three there potentially that could do something in the East where it is top heavy, but that could be broken through if they're in the right position as well. So that could be something to look at. And yeah, just excited to see how it plays out either way. But yeah, that definitely is I said that top of the list. Some people say Cavs for whatever reason. I missed that. I missed the reason why. Maybe they don't think Donovan Mitchell is that guy like that. But I think Donovan is good. They're the force for a reason. But there's options out there for sure.
I don't love that. I guess
next step
because you already have Garland and Mitchell there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw the Cavs name be mentioned. There was a discussion like this online. People said the Cavs. I missed why. Okay. I'll leave that out of it. But definitely plenty of options there. The Thunder have all their picks still. If they wanted to say, let's get Shea and Don and Luka together.
Cash in all their chips.
Yeah, cash in. I think that's a good piece to go with. So there's plenty of options all over the place. But regardless where they stay, he stays or goes, they're going to be fun to follow Luka and Kyrie and all of that going forward. So definitely good stuff there. Not to stretch things, but I will ask, I guess, in that same lane, one more. You already mentioned it, but next season for Kyrie, is it Lakers or Mavs and that's it? Or can you see him going elsewhere beyond that?
Yeah, it was, I mean, like typically, like you look at like where guys are from, like where they played, that kind of thing. Like he's already done the Brooklyn thing. He already did the Nets. So I don't think he's going back to the Nets ever. Right. I see him teaming up with LeBron. I'm trying to think if there's like another superstar that he has a close relationship with, maybe. Like he already did the KD thing. And like he's gonna be the unrestricted free agent, so it's gonna be his choice. Could he do the Knicks? Could he do the Knicks?
Maybe.
Like so, I could, maybe the Knicks. Yeah.
Luka fits there better than Kyrie does because you got Brunson still. You can't have Kyrie and Brunson. They're the same spot. I was going to say that how much longer are Batman, Robin, and Drew going to be together in Milwaukee?
I don't know if I see him going to Milwaukee.
No,
that's interesting.
Some things out there because they have said maybe if that big three has.
I think they keep it together if they win a chip this year.
Which is very possible. But just saying for some reason it's ran its course somehow. People have talked about Dame going there with Dame now potentially being shut down for the season in Portland, may be getting moved after that, and things like that. So there's an option for Milwaukee wanting to get another elite guard to replace Drew for whatever reason, though Drew has plenty of legs left himself. That could be an option. But beyond that, everything else is a lot more.
It seems like Lakers are bust, and I'm kind of like on the fence about that. Like not one major camp versus the other. I think if it's gonna work anywhere, it's gonna be with LeBron. Like that's where we've seen the success happen for him. But there's always the concerns. There's always the ifs. With Kyrie too.
My only if in that regard, because I do like him back in LA. My only issue is if he, as he being the star that he is, if he demands a big contract that results in us not signing one of our other key guys. So like if we have to lose Vanderbilt now because Kyrie has to come in, I got to keep D'Lo and have a full roster. So the same way the Mavs did, or opposite of what the Mavs did, I would not sacrifice death to get Kyrie on the Lakers team here. So that plays.
I feel you on that. The discrepancy in like their current contracts, I think D'Lo's making like 31 something and Kyrie's making 36. So it's like $5-6 million. So it's not a huge thing, but it could be another player potentially like on the roster.
Yeah.
If their salaries end up being similarly split going into their next contracts. So Pelinka's gonna have some decisions to make for sure, because it seems like the Lakers is where Kyrie would like to be. Next.
Got it. So a lot of fun things to follow here and across the league. Thank you for tuning into both these episodes today. I'm going to have a lot more going on the rest of the week. We'll have some more MLB content as the MLB season gets underway. For sure, talk about the NCAA tournament as more games are wrapping up right now. We'll be continuing on with the Final Four next weekend and all these great things. NFL free agency is still going on. We're still figuring out what's going on with Lamar Jackson and all this kind of stuff. A lot of games being played, it seems like, and we'll talk about all of that as we go on. We'll also have more bonus episodes for you guys. We'll for sure have one more bracket for you guys. We'll have the movies bracket as we discussed. And we may come back around. As we said, we're big fans of Succession. We might sneak in some Succession reviews. The Air movie comes out. The Michael Jordan movie comes out. We may talk about that with you guys coming up shortly. So a lot of real conversation for you guys, a lot of fun conversations for you guys, a lot of both mixed in as we always do across the board. So appreciate all the love. Thank you for tuning in as you do. Continue to blow up the comments as well. Appreciate talking with y'all here and across all social media and all of that. Thank y'all again for tuning in, all that. Like, rate, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff for us. Appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all later in the week. Go Team Kendall again. And see y'all, man. We out of here. Peace.
Deuces.